Today's lesson is multiplying binomials. Bi means two. Yesterday we talked about polynomials where it was many. And on the last unit we did monomials, which was one. So now we're multiplying binomials, which you'll notice there are two terms per parentheses. The three methods are, I'm sure you know by now, one of them, yes, algebra tiles. Woohoo, they are back. Let me see you say yay. The next method is the window pane, which this method is going to be pretty easy, and you're probably used to this from science and using Punnett square. And the last method is the FOIL method. I'm sure some of you have heard that. We're going to look at all three methods, but remember you can use whichever method you choose, and whichever one is easiest for you. Okay, the first one is with algebra tiles. So let's look at this first example. So we have x plus 1, so we're going to draw our x bar and one little square. Then here we have another x bar and two squares. Multiply x times x, and we have x squared to fill in that product map. X times 1 is going to be x and x. Here x times 1 is going to be another x. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And that pretty much fills in the map. Remember your answers, collect like terms. One key thing to remember, guys, remember your answers have to be in greatest exponent to least. So the x squared is going to go first when we collect our like terms. There are a total of 3 x's and 2 small squares. Got it? And our answer is x squared plus 3x plus 2. And the next one, messing this up over here. We have x and a negative 1 and a positive x and a positive 1. We're going to multiply x times x, and that gives us x squared. X times 1 gives us x. X times negative 1 gives us negative x. And negative 1 and 1 is going to be negative 1. Everybody got it? Combining your like terms, we have x squared. What happens to this positive and negative x? They end up, yes, canceling each other out. And so all we're left with is negative 1. Got it? Okay, let's look at these same exact two problems just using the window pane method. Down here, if you read, somebody read that. Okay, let's look at it. We draw our window pane. And we label it x and a positive 1 and x and a positive 2. And x times x, that is going to give us x squared, kind of like Punnett square. And then x times 2, those two will give us 2x. X times 1 gives us 1x. And 1 times 2 is going to give us a positive 2. With the window pane, we combine like terms, and I'm going to draw a little peanut around that. And those two are like terms, and I kind of think of it as the middle is like a plus sign right there, built in, telling us we combine our like terms. And so our answer is x squared plus 3x plus 2. Got it? Okay, let's try this one out using the window pane. It's like Punnett square. We draw our little square. We label x minus 1 and x plus 1. We multiply x times x, and we get x squared. X times 1, and we get 1x. x times negative 1, you get negative 1x, and negative 1 times 1 is going to be negative 1. I'm going to draw a peanut around my like terms. Collect those like terms. Remember that plus sign right there in the middle. And what happens? 1x minus 1x does what? Cancels. And so that's why our final answer is x squared minus 1. Got it? Okay. Flip it over. And I'm sure by now you're tired of algebra tiles. So if you want to do this problem using the tiles, you can. But I'm going to do the same problem using the window pane method. So let's look at the window pane method. If you prefer the tiles, you could do the tiles. Just double check you come up with the same answer as us. So we draw our window pane. We label the outside negative 2x at the top, positive 1 at the bottom, x at the top, and a positive 3. And we multiply. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 3 is negative 6x. 1 times x is 1x, and 1 times 3 is 3. Got it? Combine our like terms. These two add together. So our final answer is negative 2x squared minus 5x, because negative 6x and x is negative 5x, plus 3. Try the next one on your own. I'm going to pause it for a second so that you can try number 4 on your own. You can do it using the tiles, or you can do the same problem using the window pane, whichever method you choose. Okay, so it should be done. You should have drew a window pane, had negative x and negative 3, negative 2x, and a positive 1. When you multiply two negatives, you should have got a positive 2x squared minus x. Two negatives make a positive 6x, and then a negative 3. Combine your like terms, added them together, and your final answer should have been 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Got it? If you didn't, raise your hand and I can help you. Okay, let's go down here and we're going to do one more problem using window pane, or the other method. We're going to look at number 6. Draw your window pane. I'm going to label it. We have 3y right here, negative 4z right here. At the top we have y and a negative z. We're going to multiply 3y times y, we get 3y squared. 3y times negative z, and we get negative 3yz. Negative 4z and y gives us negative 4yz. Why isn't in order as yz? Hopefully you answered, because it has to be in ABC order. Correct. And then negative 4z and negative z is going to give us a positive 4z squared. Combine like terms. Oh wait, I want to use my pink marker. There we go. And the final answer should have been 3y squared. Two negatives make a negative, because we're just adding, 7yz plus 4z squared. So your answer would be top, middle terms, and then the bottom. Got it? Any questions? And now for the last method, which lots of people prefer, those people who like to work through their work real fast and not show a lot of work. Here is our wonderful FOIL method, which I'm sure you have probably heard of before. FOIL is an acronym. Somebody read what FOIL means. Yes, in a nutshell, full is first, outside, inner, and last term. So to solve using the full method, you basically take your outside term here, and this time we're distributing two things. So we're taking this x and we're distributing it to this first one, and that's like our f. And so basically saying x times x. Then we distribute the x to the outside, and that's the o, outside, and that's x times 1. So with full, see, we're distributing x to this one and then that one, and so that gives us x squared plus x. Then the inside term is, so now we have to take the 6 and distribute that to both terms in the second parenthesis. So then it goes on the inside, they're like the two inside terms, so that's why it's the I. 6 times x, and then finally the last two are 6 times 1, because remember, we're distributing the 6 to both terms in the second parentheses, just like we distributed the x to both terms. So L, the last term, was 6 times 1. So that's plus 6x and plus 6. Those two combine, and our final answer is x squared plus 7x plus 6. And this is why most people prefer full. After full, they like the window pane, because full is just distributing. It's just, you have to remember, you're distributing two terms, the x and the 6, because it's a binomial, which means two terms. Here we distribute x times x. That's our first term, our f. And that's going to give us x squared. Distribute that x to the outside term. It's a positive x. Now we're distributing the negative 6. There's our inside term to the x, and that's negative 6x. Then the negative 6 goes to the 1, that's negative 6. Combine like terms. Our final answer is x squared minus 5x minus 6. Got it? And I'll let you do 9 and 10 using whichever method you want to. Alright. I'm sure most of you chose full or window pane, and the weird person chose algebra tiles. But I'm not calling you weird. I'm going to use full. So here I distribute 12y times 11, and 12 times 11 is 132, I'm sorry. 132 y squared. 12y times that is going to give me 72y. Then I distribute negative 3, the inner term, that gives us negative 33y. And negative 3 times 6 is going to give us negative 18. Our final answer, after we combine these like terms, is going to be 132 y squared plus 39y minus 18. How many people got that? Good, only half of you. Alright, I'll do number 10 using the window pane. And we get 3y minus 4z and y minus z. You should have multiplied and got 3y squared, negative 3yz in alphabetical order, negative 4yz, and then two negatives make a positive 4z squared. Final answer is 3y squared. Combine these like terms, and we get negative 7yz plus 4z squared. Uh-oh, you didn't see that? Let me zoom out. And that is your final answer. And that pretty much sums up solving binomials. Your assignment is handout number 1, which is located on the back.